Welcome back to Hope at Dawn, right here at Hope TV. My name is George Gishuru.
Yes, and my name is Beatrice Watara. It's time to get to be on the know on what is happening in our country.
All right, heading to the Daily Nation, and they go with the headline, Revealed Schools That No One Wants. Millions of shillings are going down the drain as parents and learners shun some public primary and secondary schools as well as universities, in sharp contrast to the over-enrollment and congestion associated with most public institutions of learning. Now, the situation is so bad that some of these schools are now facing imminent closure. Wow. Yeah. It's a story you can read on pages 6 and 7. Kileleshwa Primary in Nairobi has a capacity of 2,000, but only has 200 pupils currently.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can read what's happening in those schools on pages 6 and 7 inside the Daily Nation. I also see state's big plan for Raila's AUC job bid. Now, the government is developing a fully fledged campaign secretariat and a budget to support Azimio leader Raila Odinga's bid for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission. It's a story you can read on page 5.
Yes.
I also see agriculture. Fake fertilizer sparks panic among farmers. So the infiltration of cartels selling substandard inputs into the government's subsidized fertilizer program has caused panic among farmers in maize growing zones. It's a story you read on page 21. And going back to page 5, that is the state's big plan for Raila's AUC job bid. I was with a staunch Raila Odinga fan.
Yeah.
And they were telling me they have ditched local media when it comes to news because according to him, you don't have enough content about Raila's bid for the AUC. And so I asked him, so how are you getting the news? You know, now we are continental.
What?
So we are listening and watching international outlets for updates. Nyinyi local, tumewachia local stuff. Found that
we are
hilarious.
slacking.
Yeah, you are slacking.
Oh my.
Amuna content. Baba on AUC. So we are looking at channels that are up to speed with what's happening. Yeah, but it was hilarious. Yes, but
hilarious.
we wish him well. Still on the front page of The Nation, teachers cry foul over recent promotions. The National Union of Teachers, NAT, says 15,858 teachers were left out of the recent promotions by the Teacher Service Commission. Now, NAT Deputy Secretary General Hesbon Otieno said the union will this week petition TSC over the matter. Otieno said the statistics were compiled from a countrywide survey which was done in the 110 branches with teachers who are left out volunteering in formation. All right. Page 10, you can read that. Faithful mark Palm Sunday as Easter beckons. And there is the Bishop Dominic Kimengich of Eldoret Diocese leading faithful during Palm Sunday to commemorate the triumphant entry of Jesus into Jerusalem yesterday at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Cathedral in Eldoret town, that is in Uasin Gishu County. You can read that inside page 3. And then front page, which you can get on pages 38 and 39. Wanasema vroom! All roads lead to Naivasha this week as Safari Rally revs up to a noisy, dusty start. It's on page 38 and 39. So Hande Star Lapi looks to carry the momentum from victory in Sweden to the Safari Rally. And they also say local lady crews gear up for contest of speed. I also see Naivasha comes alive as event nears. Joint effort turning tide against doping menace. So Kenya readies to host third round of the 2024 World Rally Championship Series in Naivasha and Nairobi. This will be from the 28th to the 31st of this month. So that starts on, that is on Friday, all the way to the Sunday. So the World Series has already gone to Monaco and Sweden. So it's 4 days to go to World Rally Championship in Nairobi and also in Naivasha. I also see World Cross Country Championships. Team jets out on Tuesday. Sawe Rono out to reclaim gold. Jeffrey Kamworor was the last Kenyan to win the men's senior race in 20 17. Kenya faces a Herculean task to regain the men's senior race title at this year's World Cross Country Championships on Saturday, which will be in Belgrade, Serbia. The country last won the gold medal in the event during the 2017 World Cross Country Championships in Kampala, Uganda, courtesy of Jeffrey Kamworor. You can read that on page 37, and we wish the team the very best. Dominant KCB and Kabras set up another epic final contest. Kakamega Showground to host this season's final on the 6th of April. So the two teams, KCB and Kabras, have spectacularly dominated local rugby in the last decade. So it is yet another mouth-watering contest when champions Kabras Sugar and KCB, the two teams which have dominated local rugby in the past decade, they play in the Kenya Cup final on the 6th of April. Right, that is in the Daily Nation.
Amazing, that's good. All right, let me look at the Standard. The very top story here is if government owes you, it's time to strike. Interesting. I see court says any Kenyan owed by the state can go ahead and auction public property or even attach the salary of a state officer who is in pending payment. The auction items can range from a police car to a government building. Unaweza enda pale useme ninauza.
Hii gari ninauza. Yobi. A government, a police car.
I think this one is easier written.
They are opening something I don't think they are ready for.
I know.
Kenyans
started a war.
Hey, my friend.
Oh my goodness.
We know our rights.
Yes. This is on page 6 and I know it's an interesting one that you need to have a look at it. Kwa hivyo kama government inakuoa chochote, it's time to strike. You are allowed. You can auction even a building. This is how much they owe me. Nikiangalia hii building, itanilipia plus emotional damage and what not. Anyway, moving on, I see on the top page as well, church asks government to end health woes. This is a story on page 2. You can have a look at it. And of course, the sad story, and even our hearts go to all university students as well as the parents who have lost their children in this grisly accident that happened. So university holds service for accident victims. Tears flowed freely during the memorial service of the 11 Kenyatta University students who perished while on tour.
That was a sad one. It was such a sad.
Yeah.
I remember during the service, one of the father actually recounting and said last year they lost another daughter to a road accident, and now they have lost yet another daughter to yet another road accident. And it was painful. It was painful.
It's painful.
You can't even relate. You just empathize with that father, with that family. But we pray for God's comfort upon him and the rest of the families who lost their loved ones in that grisly accident. And also those who are still hospitalized, we pray for quick recovery for each and every one of them. Sad story.
And a
let's be cautious on our roads. Let us not be reckless. And especially now that it is raining, it becomes even worse. So we need, as drivers,
to be careful,
cautious on our roads.
To be very careful and pray for our children also, especially those who are, out of the nest in the university. We have to keep praying for them each and every single day. And also moving on, I see also on the top page, business page, that is the 4 billion shillings windfall for coffee farmers. That is on page 19. And of course, in other news, I see welfare state to close children's homes and reunite families. Move to shut down the homes is informed by research that indicates the institutions do more harm to the child, with many turning out worse than their age mates. And I see 45,000 is the number of vulnerable and orphan children the government intends to remove from more than 850 children homes and reunite them with their families and communities. And I hope this is going to go on well, because I think sometimes these children's homes, it's just on another level. They don't really have the care that, a mother and a father can give to a child, concentrating on that child and making sure they develop as they should. So that is a story you can also look at on the Standard. And on the back page, page, I see Cheruiyot Mutua crowned Lukenya Marathon champions. I see the Lukenya University 10 million trees marathon give athletes another reason to smile. That is on the back page. And I see here lastly, page 31, the series leader Newville ready to leave rivals choking in dust. So series leader Newville energized ahead of World Rally Championship action. Look at that story on page 31.
All right, briefly checking what's being reported in the Business Daily. State employee pay crosses 70,000 shillings mark on average. Now, a civil servant on average now earns more than a new bank staff. SRC is pushing to cap wage bill at 35% of revenue. So they're saying the 70,000 shillings mark last year, overtaking the entry-level salary in the banking industry and compounding the public wage bill crisis at a time the majority of workers are dealing with pay slip erosion from salary stagnation and rising inflation. You can read that on page 2, front page and page 2 of the Business Daily. KQ defends extension of shares trade freeze. KQ has defended the continued suspension of its shares from the Nairobi Securities Exchange and other bosses, arguing the move was to enable it complete its restructuring process. Kenya to spend 11 billion shillings on inaugural nuclear reactor. Why judge declined to strike out suit on Village Market. I also see James Finley and 3 billion shillings in Kenya exit. Read that also inside the Business Daily. And ex-Scan Group CEO Bharat files 4.3 billion shillings suit over Ulster. And you can read that also front page and page 2 inside the Business Daily.
Beautiful, amazing. And now we are done with looking at the newspapers, but you can get and grab a copy of your favorite. Remember, tune in to Hope FM because at the top of every hour, we have news updates. And right here on Hope TV, Kuna Dira at 7 p.m. and of course, News Watch at 9 p.m. So we take a short break as we have a look at the video of the day. When we come back, we will be talking about it and also ushering in today's conversation on Low Logs. Please do stay with us.